Encounter the enemy requesting battle.
Acknowledged. Assault team, check it out. All the units, remain in your positions.
Just encountered the intruder. Send in the search team.
Alright, so for today's mission, we shall infiltrate the tanker and provide pictures showing off the development of the latest review, Metal Gear Solid 2. Let's see him try plausible deniability with his logo all over it. But before we get started, I want to give another shout out to NannaMelissa for her great artwork. Wait, Otacon, hold up. The Russians are storming the ship. It seems we're not the only ones out here for this review. I'm proceeding with the mission. Released November 2nd, 2001, Metal Gear Solid 2 was developed by Konami, under the direction and production of Hideo Kojima. Following the success of the previous title, they started production on their second game shortly after, and the rough draft of the game was set by 1999. The game made use of a bait-and-switch campaign, making everyone believe that Snake was the main character you played throughout the entire game, even going so far as to swap parts that had Raiden out with Snake for a trailer. Metal Gear Solid 2 is a stealth game that plays similar to the first game, but with new mechanics and quality of life improvements such as the ability to hang from ledges and a first-person view. Taking place after Metal Gear Solid 1, Snake and Otacon had formed an anti-Metal Gear NGO. During the infiltration of a new Metal Gear project, things go to hell, and we fast forward another 2 years to the Big Shell, an offshore oil cleanup plant with more going on than you're initially led to believe. The story is bigger and longer than in the first game, with plenty of cutscenes and dialogue. Personally, while I enjoy the story, and the dialogue is certainly pretty good, I can see why someone would get annoyed with it. There's lots of cutscenes, and they certainly take a while for a first run through. Not to mention how many codec calls that are in the game that you can listen to if you want to. Taking the solid base that they had with Metal Gear Solid 1, they expanded upon the mechanics, adding things such as human shielding, hanging, and dropping from ledges and railings, the ability to aim and shoot with all weapons in first person, rolling, and more. They expanded upon the already solid gameplay from the first game, while also giving the guards more intelligence and alertness, along with the fact that if you piss off the guards, they'll keep coming until you find an effective hiding place, or they kill you. While you technically can kill enough that they stop coming, it takes a lot of guards to hit that point, and it will drain you of ammo and health. You can also now shake down guards for their items and dog tags, helping to replenish your supplies and add towards unlocking items for New Game Plus. Overall, the gameplay is solid, a lot of fun, and a good improvement over the first game. The controls are smooth, and they respond well, with a nice usage of an uncommon feature on the PS2, that being the pressure-sensitive button. If you hold down the buttons halfway for automatic guns, they'll aim the gun. If you hold it down all the way, he'll fire, and once released, he'll lower the gun. This does unfortunately mean that if you're using knockoff controllers, it will cause you to pretty much spray and pray, however, as most knockoffs do not have that feature. Russian mercs, angry marines, drones, and cameras, with an assortment of freaks to fight for bosses, and several giant Metal Gears. There is a decent amount of variety to the enemies, but where they really shine compared to 1 is their increased intelligence in their AI. They are much more alert and pay higher attention. Not to mention the fact a certain boss is extremely difficult on the hardest difficulty, as they just keep coming. There's also been other features added to the mainstay guards, such as the fact that you can shake them down for loot, damage specific points to inflict different wounds, such as shooting their leg will make them run slowly and funnily. Shooting an arm makes it harder for them to fight. Taking out their radio stops them from calling for backup, to the point that they'll actually run away to that other area and come back with backup. And a dick shot is an instant kill with a hilarious animation where they grab their crotch. Ooh. One man sent into a hostile situation with basic equipment, surrounded by hundreds of Russian soldiers. Soldiers that when they get the slightest hint of something being unusual will fan out and attempt to flush out the source. Yeah, it's a pretty good atmosphere. With a tense story of the match, solid AI, and excellent usage of visuals and audio. Once again, one of my favorite aspects in the series. The music is great, with excellent composing on the part of Harry Gregson Williams. And the sound effects are excellent as well. The death screams of guards, their calling for backup, the way they communicate like a squad is all great. Metal Gear has, without a doubt, some of my favorite music and attention to detail in games. Also, the fact the voice acting is really good, at a time when video games weren't known for their voice acting being much of anything. For the start of the lifespan 2001 game on the PS2, Metal Gear looks stunning. Pretty quality models, plenty of detailing on pretty much everything, and no slowdown of performance issues at all. Overall, it's a solid game showcasing the power of the PS2 early into its lifespan as well. Now, I will say I used the HD collection for recording, and there is some bugs in this version. Most notably, some models have a bit of a spasm, like Snake's bandana at one point started jittering a bit nuttily. Though, as far as I can recall, these bugs are not part of the original, and are instead from the engine being ported to PS3. There are certainly some visual bugs and issues added to the HD collection, and the long cutscenes and dialogue sequences can most certainly turn some people off. While I personally enjoy sitting through and watching the story unfurl, not everyone is the same. Well, we've concluded the Big Shell incident. It was a long road and a tough fight, but overall, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the sneaking around, learning patterns, and when push comes to shove, fighting off an army of guards. I have to recommend Metal Gear Solid 2 if you enjoy the stealth genre and want an interesting story to keep you entertained for a good long while. Now, before we wrap up, I want to give another shout out to Nana for her great artwork as usual. I hope you enjoyed the review, and I'll see you next time.